getting your daily dose. This is episode 202. And for my next trick, I am going to break the world record for the longest hula hooping session ever. Are you ready? I don't think you guys are ready. Here we go. Are you ready? No tricks here. And start the clock now. Oh yeah, good. I can do this all day, son. This thing's heavy. So that has nothing to do with what I want to talk to you about today. So the other day, my sister and I, we decided to go watch Honey Boy. If you haven't heard about the movie Honey Boy, it is a movie based off of Shia LaBeouf's life. If you don't know who Shia LaBeouf is, he was on Even Stevens, a show that I grew up watching as a wee little lad. And the real pronunciation of his name is Shia LaBeouf. So that's probably something you didn't know if you do know who he is. I'm a diehard fan, so I know all about the boof. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, great movie, great actors. The guy who played him as his older self, great job. I don't know his name, but he's in a lot of movies where he's obviously got a lot of issues going on, and he does a really great job of doing that. So good on him. The kid, great job. Shia LaBeouf, if you don't know, Shia LaBeouf, if you don't know, plays his own dad in this movie. Really, really well written, really well, just everything. The acting, directing, all of it. Great stuff. I highly suggest it. But here's the thing. I was watching it, and it was showing how tragic his life was outside of filming things and making money and getting a little bit of fame as a child. It showed his hardships that a lot of people probably didn't know about. And it had me thinking, about my past, seeing certain things. I was like, wow, I can connect to that shit. But it really got me thinking in the last couple days. I talked to a lot of people online to get support, and I also give support. Even when I'm exhausted or if I don't feel like doing it sometimes, I force myself to do it because I always feel better afterward. Helping other people, it helps me. It always does. I learn stuff from other people's stories. I try to look at things through other people's perspectives, and the reason why is I spent a lot of my life not doing that. I spent a lot of my life pitying myself, kind of just so self-involved in my problems, at the same time not getting support from other people or talking about it. So it was just like a whirlwind of horrible shit going on in my mind. So after watching this movie, I was thinking about the fact that I feel like the people that we find it the easiest to kind of make jokes about or whatever are usually famous or really, really rich people. And when tragedy strikes or we learn things that are horrible going on in their lives, we don't know any of the backstory. Even if it comes from them, you don't know what they were told to say or what they were told to release, especially if they're really high up in like political stuff, famous stuff, whatever. You don't know what's fabricated. You don't know what's really going on. And even if it's somebody that you trust telling you something, you're never really gonna know unless you're that person, what they're going through, how they're dealing with it emotionally. So my point is that, like I said, I think it's easier to make fun of famous people, like when Shia LaBeouf made the news for doing all the crazy shit he did, Britney Spears, big famous people doing crazy shit. And because we have a lot of stuff going on in our lives, we see these people going through their shit and we make fun of them because we're like, you're in the spotlight. This is your job. You have tons of money. You have tons of fame. So even if you're going through some hard shit, boo-hoo, who cares? You're still rich at the end of the day. You still have all these things going on, who cares? But there's a reason why famous people with tons of fans, tons of people that love them, tons of money, houses, all these material things, there's a lot of them that do suicide. And there's a reason for that, because we don't know what anybody is going through physically or emotionally. We really don't. So now that I'm working on things, I'm trying a lot harder to think about the perspective of other people and supporting people online, talking to people all over the place. It really helps with that a lot, and it helps keep me in check, and it helps me analyze and work on what I'm going through, and it helps with just everything. So that's all I'm suggesting, is that you might have a lot going on. And I'm not saying that someone else's shit is way worse than yours, or yours is way worse than others. I'm just saying we're all going through shit. Actually, that reminds me, a little analogy that I came up with while thinking about all this is that I spent a lot of my life not telling people about my issues and what I was going through. So it was kind of like I was carrying around this big bag of shit, which we all do. And that big bag of shit is, you know, filled with our issues, depression, anxiety, whatever we've been through that's traumatic. We just keep filling up these big bags of shit. Nobody talks about it, and we pretend like we all don't have this big bag of shit on our back that we're carrying around. And I spent my whole life trying to not let people know that I had a big, giant bag full of a lot of crazy shit. And every once in a while, a little bit would spill out, and people would be like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "Nothing," and I just scoop it back in. But at the end of the day, we're all carrying a big bag of shit. Some people are just better at sorting it out and dealing with it. And some people aren't, so they have a really, really huge bag of shit. So all I'm saying is, you don't know what kind of shit is in other people's bags. You don't know what they have going on. So maybe try to find things to do that help you look at other people's perspectives, and then maybe not be so quick to judge. And I'm not judging you for judging other people, because I still do it out of habit, and then I have to remind myself that I'm not trying to be like that. I think it's just something that's socially acceptable sometimes, and I think what it really is that it's easy for us to judge other people, especially people that we think are better off, especially if a collective thinks that, you know, a famous person, you know, they're rich, they got all these things going on. We can make fun of them, and it's okay. And we point our finger and we all laugh and judge at that person, because it makes it easier for us to distract us and other people from looking at our big giant bag of shit that we should be focusing on, instead of focusing on anybody else's. So when we should be focusing on other people's shit is when they're trying to get support and they're talking about it and they're letting you see their perspective of what they're going through. So a few examples would be to, I don't know, go out and try to volunteer for things for people that have less than you might have, and you'll be able to see their stories, feel good about helping them out, and see things from other people's perspectives, or just give support to other people in any way that you can. It really helps a lot in many ways, including letting you see what's going on in other people's lives. And you also get to learn stuff too that helps you with the shit that's going on in your bag. So yeah, and that's kind of like, you know, my message at the end of my videos. I usually let you know, because I want to let you know that you're not alone, and that we all have big bags of shit we have to work through. So whatever you're going through, whatever you're doing, I'm right here, hula hooping and looking through my bag of shit.